Hello guys, my name is James, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Episode 8 of Stranger Things Season 4 starts with Nancy experiencing frightening visions. It's Vecna, he's got into her head and she finds herself walking through the bloodied hallways of Hawkins' lab. Vecna catches up with Nancy and pins her down. "I want you to tell 11 everything you see," he rasps, and with that, a barrage of memories filter through and she's let go, back into Steve's arms. Nancy's visions include a dark cloud descending over Hawkins and a giant creature with a gaping mouth alongside an army of other monsters coming into Hawkins. This is an ominous, foreshadowing glimpse of what's to pass should Vecna be successful in his endeavor. Not only that, but she mentions how there are 4 gates, one for each kill. This harks back to the motif of 4 chimes for Vecna's clock. He's been teasing his plan this whole time and the group realize they need to stop whomever is the victim. Up in Russia, the Demogorgon is still on the rampage. Joyce helps patch up Hopper and tells him he's the hero of Hawkins, especially if the turnout from his funeral is anything to go by. The thing is, the Demogorgon can actually climb and that spells big trouble. It climbs up the balconies and kills all the Russian soldiers inside the prison, shrugging off a barrage of bullets. Hopper hears shrill screaming and notices that there's a demo dog in the lab, seemingly having been experimented on, and strapped tight to a stretcher. After putting it out its misery, Hopper heads deeper into the lab and notices numerous other creatures in separate chambers. There's even a separate cell holding those same strange, swirling particles from before. The gang are interrupted by Antonoff, who's seemingly found a way out the prison. There's a vent leading down and out the prison. Scrambling into a van, they hurry away, slamming through the gates and trying desperately to find a plane of some sort to make it to the States. In order to do that, they net to use Yuri once more, despite him being incredibly untrustworthy. Well, it turns out Yuri does have a way out, but it's a helicopter called Katinka. That doesn't seem like it's going to be any good, so it's back to the drawing board. Joyce decides to use Owen's contacts to bring in some outside help to extract them. In the lab, 11 is brought back from the brink. In doing so, her powers have returned, bigger and badder than before. However, she's still suffering from nosebleeds. Brenner admits to her that he's always had an inkling that Henry is out there, but now they know for sure. Brenner warns Elle that Henry is putting cracks in the dam, the metaphor for this world and Vecna's. If that happens, Hawkins will fall. 11 is adamant she needs to help her friends and prevent that from happening. Using her powers, she projects herself over to the gang of Nancy and the others, who discuss what their plan is going to be to take out Vecna. Max decides to ditch Kate Bush and instead of running up that hill, she'll allow him to run toward her, using herself as bait. Just outside Hawkins, there's a store called the Warzone, which sells loads of guns. They intend to load themselves up before the big fight. Hotwiring a van, they head out. When they do, Elle speaks to Brenner, who warns about how dangerous Vecna is and how her friends are walking into a trap. He doesn't think Elle should be acting rashly right now, but Owens takes 11's side, deciding Elle should be making her own decision. And if she wants to go, then that's up to her. Unfortunately, Brenner uses his powers to keep her in the lab, stopping Owens and claiming that there's only one way out of this. Brenner wants to go with 11 to Hawkins, but only when the time is right. Elle is not so sure. She knows not to trust Brenner and believes he's using her to search through the darkness to look for Henry. This revelation explains all the experiments, with Brenner intending to use 11 to open up a gateway to bring him back. "You are the monster," Elle rasps, promising to kill him if he tries to stop her. Unfortunately, she turns her back to him and Brenner injects a sedative into her neck, knocking her out. When Elle awakens, she finds herself in her room with a shackle around her neck. Alarms wail overhead as Brenner learns from his subordinates that Sullivan and the other military personnel have found them. Elsewhere, Jonathan, Mike, Will and Argyle drive out to the coordinates Susie gave them for the lab. On the way, Mike starts to falter, but Will shows off a drawing of a 3-headed dragon being fought against by the boys. Leading the charge is Mike, complete with a heart on his shield signifying the group being kept together by the fact he's always been the heart of the group. Although Will mentions how Elle will always need her, it's clear he's actually projecting his own feelings. As he turns toward the window, he tries in vain to hold back his tears. On the road, Lucas speaks to Max and decides they should investigate who Vecna's next victim will be.